Chapter 1. The letter from the bank arrived on a bright Thursday afternoon, tucked between a pile of college brochures and the usual bills. I recognized the logo instantly, that elegant blue swirl my dad had once drawn on a napkin and labeled your security blanket. My heart sped up as I carried the envelope inside, half smiling at the memory and half dreading what might have changed. "Lila, mail for you," Mom called over her shoulder, wrist deep in dishwater. I could hear Ryan's heavy steps overhead, my stepdad's murmuring voice in his office, the soft whirl of summer through the cracked kitchen window. I set the envelope on the counter, running my fingers over the address block. My name in formal print, my dad's planning still keeping me company 5 years after he'd stopped being able to. No matter how strong I pretended to be at 17, nothing ever filled the hole he'd left. Not my mother's devotion, not grandma's visits, not the careful balance of this patched-together family. I must have looked nervous because Mom dried her hands and came to stand beside me. "That's from First National, right? Your dad's trust fund." She tried to sound casual, but her eyes flickered. I nodded, finally opening it. There, in crisp banker speak, was the yearly update. The original $250,000 Dad had set aside for Lila's college education and future security. The investment returns, the warning that funds had to be used strictly for the beneficiary's benefit. A lump formed in my throat. For a moment, grief warred with pride. Dad had worked so hard for this, late nights dozing on the couch with his laptop open, making sure I'd have options he never did. This fund was his last, stubborn gift. I quickly brushed away any treacherous tears. "You know, you should start thinking about where you want to go," Mom said, trying for brightness. Her voice had a practiced quality, one she reserved for difficult talks. When she told me about Dad's diagnosis, about moving in with stepdad, about all the ways our lives would have to flex. "Your father wanted you to have choices, real choices." I picked up the envelope again, scanning the fine print. "I've already got notes on a few colleges. If I can get close to a full ride, I could put the rest toward grad school. Maybe even use the stipend for an internship next summer." Mom nodded. He'd like that, he really would. The front door slammed. I heard stepdad's low, commanding voice. "Ryan, remember to file those documents by tomorrow, and we'll discuss the down payment logistics after dinner." Ryan mumbled an answer, his feet barely touching the floor as he drifted to the basement. Mom hesitated, glancing at the kitchen clock. She looked tired, as if she was weighing words she didn't quite want to say. "Listen, honey," she began, "your stepdad and I, well, we were wondering if maybe you'd want to talk as a family this weekend. Big plans, you know, not just college for everyone." I fought the urge to roll my eyes. "I just need to focus on my own applications right now." She nodded absently and busied herself with the dishes again. After dinner, I pored over college sites on my laptop in bed. My phone buzzed, Grandma, with her usual check-in text. "How's my future lawyer? Picked out any favorites yet? Love, G." I smiled and tapped out a quick reply, still deciding. Dad's fund is safe and sound. We'll call this weekend. As I was about to close my laptop, I heard voices through the half-open heating vent. Stepdad's office sat directly below my room. I'd learned early on that the old ductwork carried every word upstairs. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, exactly, but when I heard my own name, I froze. "Lila's trust is technically locked until she's 18, Stepdad was saying, in that low, deliberate tone he used for business. "But it's a family resource, really. She won't be needing it for at least a year. Ryan can't keep paying rent forever, not with interest rates rising. He deserves a head start." Mom's voice, hesitant, almost pleading. "That money was meant for her education. John, your own agreement." He cut her off. "And what, she'll sit on it while we're struggling? Ryan already has a job. He'll pay it back. It's not like Lila's leaving tomorrow." A chair scraped, silence tense and loaded. "That's not how," Mom tried again. "I know how to optimize family assets," Stepdad said crisply. "You said you wanted what's best for everyone." Their voices faded, and I jerked away from the vent, heart pounding. I sat on my bed, stunned. Family resource. Head start. My fingertips went numb as the implications swirled. Ryan was buying a house with Dad's money. All at once, my perfectly constructed future seemed to flicker like a bad connection. I thought of Dad's laugh, his hand on my shoulder the night before his last surgery. Remember, kid, there's a difference between being generous and being wise. Don't let anyone talk you out of your future. I pressed my palms tight against my eyes and breathed. Maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I'd misunderstood. But deep down, I knew the tone in Stepdad's voice. I'd heard it before, when he talked about how tight things were, how family should always help family, even if only some of us were ever asked. Tomorrow, I promised myself, I'd start tracking every detail. I would not let Dad's last gift become just another asset for someone else to spend. Resolved, I typed a quick message to Grandma. Actually, can we talk sooner? Something feels off. And if anyone could help me make sense of this, it was the woman who'd taught me to be as stubborn as my father. As I turned off my light, I clung to the thought that justice, like Dad's love, was a legacy I didn't have to carry alone. I sat at the kitchen table with my laptop open. My mom stood by the sink, wiping a plate. I held the envelope from the bank in my hand. My stomach felt tight. I knew this had to do with the trust fund my dad left for me. "Mom, I got something from the bank," I said. She looked up. Her eyes seemed nervous. "Is it about your trust fund?" "Yes," I said. I opened the envelope and stared at the letter. It said my dad left me money for college. I felt proud because Dad wanted me to have a great future. Mom dried her hands. She came over and put her hand on my back. "Your father wanted you to go wherever you wanted. That money is safe until you need it," she said. I nodded, but inside I wished Dad was here to help me decide. "I want to make him proud," I said softly. "I know you will," she said. She squeezed my shoulder, but she didn't look me in the eye. The front door banged open. My stepdad came in, his face grumpy as always. Ryan, my stepbrother, followed him, looking tired. "Ryan, we need to talk about your future," Stepdad said. He sounded bossy, like always. "Okay, Dad," Ryan said. He dropped his backpack on the floor. He never seemed happy, even though Stepdad always favored him. Mom looked at both of them. "Let's not have this talk now," she said, but Stepdad ignored her. "Ryan needs help," Stepdad said. "He just finished college. It's time he got his own place." "Yeah, but," Ryan started, but Stepdad cut him off. "That's what families do. We pull our resources," Stepdad said. I got up to go to my room. I had college brochures everywhere, and I started dreaming about my own dorm, my own life far from here. I tried to block out their voices, but when I got to the bottom of the stairs, I heard whispers. "John, we can't touch Lila's money," Mom said, her voice shaking. She called Stepdad by his first name only when she was scared or mad. "She won't use it for years. Ryan needs it now," Stepdad said. "But it's not for Ryan," Mom said. She sounded like she might cry. I stopped breathing for a second. My money, what did he mean? "Ryan's my son too," Stepdad said, louder now. "It's all family money." "It was her father," Mom said. I could hardly hear her now because my own heart was beating so hard. "Ryan deserves a shot. We'll pay it back. Don't be dramatic," Stepdad said. I ran upstairs and sat on my bed, shaking. Did they really want to give my college money to Ryan? Dad promised it was for me. I grabbed my phone and started to text my grandma, but I stopped. I didn't want to believe it yet. That night at dinner, the table was quiet. I could tell Mom had cried. Stepdad ate fast and barely looked at me. Ryan looked at his food like it might come alive. I tried to speak, but my words came out too sharp. "Are you taking my trust fund for Ryan's house?" Forks clattered. Mom dropped her fork and Stepdad glared at me. Ryan looked shocked. "Lila, that's not." Mom started, but Stepdad interrupted her. "Don't start drama, Lila," he said. His face was red. "Families help each other." "It's not your money," I said. My voice was shaky, but I didn't care. Ryan looked at me, confused. "Wait, what money?" Stepdad gave him a look that made Ryan quiet right away. "Enough. This is between adults." I stood up and my chair scraped the floor hard. Dad wanted that money for my college, he told me. Mom looked like she might faint. Lila, please, she said, tears in her eyes. Ryan, did you know? I asked. My voice sounded smaller than I wanted. He shook his head fast. No, I thought Dad got a loan. Stepdad laughed, but it wasn't a nice laugh. Don't be so selfish, Lila. You can wait. I stared at him and felt my hands get cold. No, I can't wait. That's mine. Mom reached out to touch my arm, but I stepped back. You promised, I said to her. She put her face in her hands and started to cry. I felt like my heart was breaking in two. I couldn't believe she let this happen. Ryan stood up. I didn't know, he said. His voice shook. Why didn't you just tell me? Stepdad slammed his hand on the table. Quiet, this is settled. I glared at my stepdad. No, it isn't, I said. You can't steal from me. He glared right back. If you make this a problem, you'll tear this family apart. I left the table and ran upstairs. I lay on my bed, sobbing quietly. I felt scared and betrayed and so angry I could scream. Tomorrow, I thought, I am calling Grandma. She'll know what to do. But what if it was already too late? My future felt like it was slipping away, and I didn't know if I could get it back. I woke up early the next morning with a headache. My eyes felt swollen from crying most of the night. Mom's words kept running through my head over and over again. I wanted it to all be a bad dream, but I knew it was. Downstairs, I found Mom sitting at the kitchen table. She stared at her cold coffee. Her hair was messy, and she looked so tired. Mom, we need to talk, I said. My voice sounded shaky. She jumped a little and looked at me. Lila, she said, her face full of worry. I sat down across from her and took a breath. Did you really use my trust fund for Ryan's house? I asked. Mom's hands shook. She looked down at her lap. I'm sorry, she said, her voice barely above a whisper. I felt tears in my eyes but blinked them away. Why, Mom? That's my college money. Dad left it for me, I said. She wiped her eyes. I know, Lila, I know he did, but we were struggling. Your stepdad said we would pay it back before you needed it for school. Her voice cracked, and she looked guilty, like she wanted to disappear. But college is next year. How am I supposed to go to school now? I said. I was so angry, my voice sounded sharp. She shook her head and started to cry again. I thought we'd have more time. I didn't know Ryan would need so much. Your stepdad, he said your fund was just sitting there. He said Ryan's future mattered too. I was quiet for a moment and then said, You promised me you protect it for me. You promised, Mom. Mom put her face in her hands. I'm so sorry, Lila. I wish I could take it back. I promise we'll pay it back someday. I felt my hope slipping away. When, Mom? When I'm already out of college and in debt? How could you let him do this? I asked. She didn't answer. The silence made me want to scream. Suddenly, I heard the door. Stepdad walked in. He looked annoyed. What's all the fuss? He said. I glared at him. You took my college money. How could you do that? I said. He rolled his eyes. It's not like you need it right now, Lila. Ryan needed a house to start his life. We'll pay it back. That's not your decision. Dad wanted it for me, I said. My voice shook. I wanted to yell, but instead I started to cry again, angry and sad all at once. Stepdad shook his head. Stop being dramatic. Families help each other. I looked at him, feeling hurt and lost. You're not helping me. You're ruining my future, I said. He didn't say sorry. He just shrugged. You'll be fine. You're smart. You'll figure it out. Mom looked at him with tears in her eyes. John, we promised her. We promised her father. He frowned. Money is money. We had to make a choice. I couldn't stand it anymore. I pushed away from the table, almost knocking over my chair. I trusted you, both of you, I said. My voice was breaking. Mom reached out to me, but I moved away. Lila, please, I'm sorry, she said. I shook my head. Sorry won't put the money back. Sorry won't help me next year when I need to pay for school. She cried harder. It almost made me feel bad, but then I pictured my future slipping away, my dad's face, all his work for me. The pain came back even stronger. I grabbed my bag and headed to the door. Where are you going? Mom called. I'm going to Grandma, I said. She'll help me, she always does. Stepdad said nothing. He just watched me, cold and angry. Mom tried to follow, but I shut the door and started walking fast down the street. I felt lost and hurt, like I didn't belong in my own house anymore. I wiped my tears and gripped my phone in my hand. Grandma's house wasn't far. I texted her that I was coming, but I didn't say why. I wanted to tell her everything, but I felt so scared she'd be disappointed, too. What if Grandma couldn't fix this? What if the money was gone forever? I kept walking, my heart beating fast, and wondered if anything would ever be okay again. Grandma opened her front door before I could even knock. I guess she must have seen me coming through the window. Her silver hair was wild today, and she pulled me into a tight hug right away. "Oh, Lila," she said. "I could tell something was wrong in your text. Tell me what happened, honey." I started crying before I could even speak. "Grandma, they took my money," I said, my voice shook. "The trust fund Dad left me, it's almost all gone." She held my shoulders and looked straight into my eyes. "Who took it?" she asked. "Mom and Stepdad," I said. The words felt hot and sharp in my mouth. "They gave it to Ryan for his house. I heard them fighting about it last night. Then Mom admitted it this morning." Grandma's mouth fell open. Her face turned red. "That fund was supposed to be for you and only you," she said. Her voice was hard now. "Your father made me promise to make sure of that." I looked down at my shoes. "I thought Mom would keep her promise too," I said. I wiped my eyes. "She just cried and said sorry. Stepdad said it was just family money." Grandma's hands started shaking. She walked into the living room and waved for me to follow her. "Come," she said. "We're going to get to the bottom of this right now." We sat on the couch together. She handed me a tissue and then pulled a big folder from her bookshelf. "Your dad worked so hard to build this up for you," Grandma said. "He even worked nights sometimes just to put in a little more every month. Did you know that?" I shook my head. "No, I didn't know," I said. My chest hurt thinking about it. I can't believe Mom let him do this." Grandma looked sad for a moment, but then her eyes got sharp. "I was the co-trustee, Lila. That means I was supposed to sign off on any big withdrawals. I never did." I sat up straighter. "Then how did they take the money?" I asked. "I don't know," Grandma said. She sounded angry now. "But I know someone who can help us find out. I'm calling Mrs. Parker, my old friend. She's a lawyer." My heart started to race, but for the first time all week, I felt a tiny bit of hope. Grandma grabbed her phone and dialed a number. She put it on speaker. After a few rings, a woman's voice answered. "This is Mrs. Parker," she said. "Margaret, it's me, Ellen," Grandma said. "We have a big problem. I need your help. My granddaughter's trust fund was stolen by her stepfather and possibly even by her own mother." Mrs. Parker sounded surprised. "Tell me everything," she said. I took a deep breath. My voice shook, but I told her what happened, about the trust fund, about the money, about Ryan's new house. Grandma filled in the parts I missed. When we finished, Mrs. Parker was silent. Then she said, "Ellen, this is very serious. What they did is illegal. The trust fund is protected by law." My eyes grew wide. "So what can we do?" I asked. "We have to find out where every cent went," Mrs. Parker said. "We'll get the bank records. If your stepfather forced your mom, we'll need to prove it. Lila, do you have any proof they talked about using your money?" I swallowed. "I heard them talk about it through the vent," I said. "But I don't have anything recorded. I could write everything down, though. I remember it all." "That's a good start," Mrs. Parker said. "Don't worry, Lila, we can fight back. I'm going to help you and your grandmother fix this." I nodded, even though my hands were shaking. "Thank you," I said. Grandma hugged me again. She whispered, "I won't let anyone steal your future." I leaned into her, feeling safe for the first time in days. But inside, I was still scared. What if Mom got in trouble? What if Stepdad got angry? What if I could never trust Mom again? Mrs. Parker said, "I'll start on the paperwork. Ellen, get copies of all the trust fund documents and bank records. Lila, write down every memory about your mom and stepdad talking about the trust." We promised to do everything she said. After the call, Grandma sat quietly beside me. She looked tired, but her eyes burned with anger. "Your dad would be so proud of you for standing up for yourself," she said. "We're not giving up, no matter what." I wanted to believe her so badly. But as I looked out the window at the dark sky, I wondered what Mom and Stepdad would do when they found out we were fighting back. Would things get even worse for us? Would Mom ever forgive me for telling the truth? I squeezed Grandma's hand and tried to be brave, because I could feel a storm coming, and I had no idea how bad it would get. I walked into the house with Grandma right beside me. My hands felt sweaty. The walls seemed extra quiet, like they were waiting. I knew what I had to do, but my stomach twisted up in knots. Stepdad sat in his chair, reading the news on his phone. Mom was folding laundry by the window. When she saw me, her face dropped. "Where have you been?" Mom asked. Her voice sounded tired. "I was with Grandma," I said. Stepdad put his phone down. He looked at both of us. "Is there something you want?" he said. My heart thudded, but I took a deep breath. "I know what you did with my trust fund," I said. "You broke the rules. Grandma is the co-trustee. You weren't supposed to touch that money without her." He snorted. "It's family money, Lila. Ryan needed help. You'll get yours when the time comes," he said. "That's not what the law says," Grandma said, her voice shaking. "You had no right. Lila's dad made this money just for her future. Not for Ryan, not for you." Mom sat down and covered her face. Stepdad didn't even look sorry. He just stared at us like we were annoying him. I stepped closer. I tried to look strong, but my voice almost broke. "You took almost all the money, didn't you?" Stepdad rolled his eyes. "We only borrowed it. You're making a big deal out of nothing," he said. I could feel my hands shake, but I kept going. "Borrowing is when you ask. You never even told me. You never asked Grandma either." He glared at me. "You'd rather see Ryan homeless. He just needed a start," he said. "Ryan is grown up. He could have saved just like my dad did," I said. I was angry now. "You used my name to steal money that was meant for me. That's not what family does." Mom looked up at me. Tears were on her cheeks. "Lila, I'm so sorry," she said. "I was scared. John said we could pay it back before you needed it. I never wanted this to hurt you." "It does hurt, Mom," I said. "I don't know how I'll pay for college now. I don't know if I can trust you anymore." Stepdad slammed his fist on the table. "If you bring lawyers into this, you'll ruin everything. You'll tear this family apart," he said loudly. Grandma stepped up beside me. "You already tore this family apart by lying and taking what wasn't yours," she said. He stood up, towering over Grandma. "You both want to fight me, over money." I stood as tall as I could. "It's not just money," I said. "It's my life, it's my future. My dad worked so hard, you threw all of that away." Stepdad's face turned red. "This is my house," he said, "and you don't talk to me like that." I couldn't stop shaking, but I wasn't going to back down. "If you don't give back what's mine, we'll go to the police. We've already talked to a lawyer," I said. My voice surprised even me. His eyes got wide then, just for a second. He looked scared. Then he tried to hide it with a fake laugh. "You wouldn't dare," he said. "I dare," I said. He looked at Mom. "Well, are you going to let your daughter treat me like this?" he said. Mom just cried harder. She didn't answer. Grandma pulled me closer. "We're not afraid, John," she said. He shook his head and walked out of the room, slamming the door behind him. I took a shaky breath. Mom tried to grab my hand, but I pulled away. "Why didn't you stop him, Mom?" I said. My voice was small. She looked broken. "I was afraid," she said, sobbing. "He said it was only for a little while. I thought I could fix it. I was so wrong, Lila. I'm so sorry." I wanted to believe her, but my heart felt heavy and tired. "You promised Dad you'd protect me," I whispered. "I know," she said. "I know." Grandma hugged me again. "You did the right thing, Lila. Your dad would be proud," she said. I almost started to cry, but I blinked the tears away. Stepdad's words echoed in my mind. "If you bring lawyers into this, you'll ruin everything." I wondered what he would do next. Would he fight us even harder? Would Mom pick his side again? As I stood there, holding Grandma's hand, I knew things would never be the same in our house. But deep inside me, a small flame of hope burned. I wasn't alone. Then I heard footsteps on the stairs. Someone else was coming down. I looked up, my heart pounding, not sure what was about to happen next. I stared at the bottom step, waiting for whoever was coming down. My heart pounded. The house was too quiet. I held Grandma's hand a little tighter, even though I didn't want her to know how scared I was. It was Ryan. His hair was messy and his face looked pale. He stopped when he saw all of us in the living room. "What's going on?" he asked. He sounded nervous. I took a deep breath. "Ryan, you need to know the truth," I said. He blinked. "About what?" "About your new house," I said. My voice almost broke. "The down payment. It came from my college fund, the money Dad left me. Stepdad and Mom took it. Now the fund is almost gone." Ryan stared at me. "Wait, what?" he said. "My dad said it was from a loan. He never said it was yours." "It was all I had for school," I said. My words came out fast. "For my future, and now it's gone just so you could get a house." Ryan looked shocked. "No, I had no idea. I swear, Lila, I never wanted that." His hands shook. "Dad told me not to worry about it." Grandma stepped forward. "Ryan, your father broke trust and broke the law. Lila's trust fund was only for her." Ryan ran his hands through his hair. "I'm so sorry," he said, looking right at me. "I didn't know. If I had known, I wouldn't have let him." Stepdad burst into the room. He looked mad. "You two done gossiping," he said, looking at me and Grandma. "Ryan, don't listen to them. It's family business." "No, Dad, this isn't right," Ryan said. He sounded angry now. "That money wasn't yours to use." Stepdad glared at him. "I did what I had to do. You needed help. Family takes care of each other." Ryan shook his head. "Not like this," he said. "You lied to me. You lied to everyone." I felt surprised. I had never seen Ryan stand up to his dad before. Stepdad's face turned red. "Don't talk to me that way, Ryan," he said. Ryan kept going. "I'm not taking Lila's future away just so I can buy a house," he said. "This isn't right, Dad. You always do this. You take and you twist things." Mom started crying again. "Please, everyone, stop fighting," she said. "No," I said. I felt my anger and sadness mix together like a storm. "We have to talk about it. We can't just pretend it didn't happen." Ryan looked at me. "Lila, I promise you I want to make it right. I can help," he said. Stepdad stared at him. "After all I've done for you," he said, his voice mean, "you side with them." Ryan nodded. "Yes, Lila deserves her future. You can't just steal it." Grandma nodded at him. "Thank you, Ryan. That's the right thing to do." Stepdad looked around the room like he wanted to yell. "I can't believe this," he said. "You're all against me." No one said anything for a minute. I could hear Mom sniffle. Finally, Ryan turned to me and spoke soft. "We'll figure this out, Lila. I'm sorry I didn't know sooner." "I believe you," I said. For the first time all day, I felt a little hope. "But how? How will we fix it?" Ryan answered, "I can talk to the bank. Maybe I can sell the house. I'll do anything. I want to help you get your money back." Stepdad stormed out again, slamming the door so hard the window shook. Grandma squeezed my shoulder. "See, Lila," she said. "You're not alone. Things will get better." I nodded and wiped my cheeks. "Thank you, Ryan," I said. "Thank you for finally seeing me." He looked at me and said, "I'm sorry for everything Dad did. I won't let him hurt you or your future anymore." Mom stood up, hugging herself like she was cold. "What will happen to us?" she asked in a tiny voice. No one answered. I didn't know. Maybe none of us knew. Outside, a car door slammed. I glanced out the window, feeling my heart speed up again. Who was here now? Had Stepdad called someone? Or was it something even worse? I felt fear and hope fighting inside me. Maybe things could finally change. Or maybe they were about to get a lot harder. I looked at Ryan and Grandma, knowing everything could be different before the day was over. When I looked out the window, I saw Grandma's car in the driveway. That meant the lawyer must have come in another car. My heart thudded fast. I watched as a strange woman in a dark suit walked to our door, holding a big brown envelope. I knew right away this must be Mrs. Parker, Grandma's friend. I heard the knock. Mom stood up, wiping her hands on her pants. "Do I need to answer it?" she said. Grandma nodded. "Yes, it's important." Her voice was strong. Mom opened the door. Mrs. Parker walked in and looked at us all. She gave me a gentle smile. "Hello, I'm Mrs. Parker. I'm here to talk about Lila's trust fund." Stepdad came out of the kitchen. His face looked pale. "What's this?" he said. Mrs. Parker held out the envelope. "I'm here as Lila's lawyer. This is a letter about the money you took." She looked at Stepdad, then at Mom. Stepdad frowned. "You brought a lawyer into our home," he said, almost yelling. Mrs. Parker's eyes were calm. "This is very serious. It was against the law to use Lila's trust fund for anything but her own future. If you don't return the money, there will be bigger problems." Mom's hands started to shake. I'm sorry," she said. "We can't pay it all back." Her voice got small. Stepdad glared at her. "We're not talking to a lawyer. We'll fix it ourselves," he said. "No," I said. I felt scared but also brave. "You had your chance. This is my last hope." Ryan stepped beside me. "Dad, it's wrong. We have to do the right thing." Stepdad faced us all. "You want to destroy this family? Fine, do it. But if we have to pay, we'll have to sell the house. Is that what you want, Lila?" he said, now angry. Mom burst into tears. "Sell the house, but where will we go?" she said. "Maybe you all should have thought of that before," Grandma snapped. I saw her face, fierce, battling for me. Stepdad threw up his arms. "Lila, if we sell the house, we'll have nowhere to stay. Do you want that?" he said, his voice shaking. "It's not fair to make her feel bad," Ryan said. I looked at him and then at Mom. "I just want what's mine," I said. My voice sounded thin but steady. "Dad wanted me to go to college. He worked so hard for that." Stepdad looked around at all of us. He was breathing fast. "Fine," he said. "We'll sell the house. But Lila, when it's sold, you have to let us stay with you, just for a while, until we get something new." I stared at him, shocked. "You want to live with me after what you did," I said. Mom hugged herself. "Please, Lila," she said through tears. "We have nowhere else." I felt so angry I thought I might scream, but part of me also felt broken, seeing my own mom cry. "I have to think about it," I said. "I can't promise anything." Mrs. Parker handed the letter to Stepdad. "This is official. You have to pay her back. I hope you understand how serious this is," she said. Stepdad just glared at her. "You got your way, Lila," he said. "I hope you're happy." I wasn't happy. I was just tired. It all felt wrong. I wanted my dad. I wanted my old family back. But mostly, I wanted my future. Mom melted down in the chair, sobbing. "I didn't want any of this," she said. Grandma sat next to me. She took my hand and squeezed it. "Stay strong. You did what's right." Ryan nodded. "I'll help you, Lila. Maybe I can sell my house and give the money back." For the first time, Stepdad looked worried. I looked around at my family. Everyone was hurt or angry. Was this really what it took to stand up for myself? Was everything going to fall apart even more? I wondered if I was ready for all the changes that were coming. Then I heard a phone ring. Stepdad picked up. His face changed as he listened. I couldn't hear what was said, but he looked right at me after he hung up. His eyes were wild. "There's something you need to know, Lila," he said. My heart jumped. I didn't know if I wanted to hear it or not. I stared at my stepdad, scared of what he was about to say. Everyone was quiet. The air in the room felt heavy and strange. He looked at me with angry eyes. "We have no choice. The lawyer's letter changes everything," he said. Mom put her head in her hands. "What are we going to do?" she said through her tears. Stepdad spoke, but he sounded more tired than angry now. "We'll have to sell the house to pay Lila back. That's the only way." Ryan let out a breath. "Dad, this shouldn't have happened. This is your fault. You took Lila's college money," he said. Stepdad glared at Ryan. "Don't speak to me like that," he said, but his voice was weak. I stood up and looked at them all. "I didn't want this," I said. My voice cracked a little. I just want what's fair. I need to go to college. I just want to follow my dreams. That's what Dad wanted for me. Grandma squeezed my hand. You're doing the right thing, she said. Stepdad walked to the window and stared outside. After we sell, we have nowhere to live. Lila, can we stay with you for a bit? Just until we get a new place, he said, turning to me. I blinked. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. You want to stay with me, after you stole my future, I said. Mom wiped her cheeks. Please, Lila, I never wanted any of this. I let things go too far. I just didn't know how to stop it. I'm so sorry, she said. I felt so many things. Anger, sadness, even a little pity. I have to think. I don't know what to say right now, I told them. Ryan stepped forward. He looked at Mom, then at me. Maybe I can help too. I'll sell my house. Lila, it was bought with your money. We can give it back to you. Stepdad turned on Ryan. You'd betray your own father for her. That house is yours. Ryan shook his head. It's not really mine if it was never paid for with my own money, he said. It's hers, Dad. I wanted to thank Ryan, but my throat felt tight. You'd do that? I asked him. He nodded. It's only fair, Lila. I'm sorry about everything. Mom looked at me, her eyes full of tears. Lila, please. I don't want to lose you. We made a mistake. I should have stood up to him. I let him scare me for too long, she said. I felt broken. Why didn't you say something before you used my money? Why didn't you come to me? I asked her. Mom started sobbing again. I was scared, she said. He always made me feel like I wasn't good enough. I was afraid to fight him. I'm sorry, honey, I really am. Grandma stood next to me. You don't have to decide anything tonight, Lila, she said. Let them figure out how to clean up this mess. Stepdad turned to me, eyes full of pride and something else I didn't recognize. Maybe fear. You've been stronger than I thought, he said. He almost sounded surprised. I set my jaw. I learned it from my dad, and from Grandma, I said. The room was so quiet, I could hear my own breathing. What happens now? I asked softly. Stepdad let out a long sigh. We start packing. I'll talk to a real estate agent tomorrow, he said. Mom whispered, I'm sorry, Lila. She kept saying it over and over like it would change anything. Ryan sat down on the couch, hands in his lap. We'll get through this, Lila. I'll help you get your money back. I looked at them all and felt bigger than I had ever felt, and also more alone. That night, as I sat quietly with Grandma, I dreamed about what might come next. Would they really leave? Would my mom stay with Stepdad, or would she finally walk away? Would Ryan keep his promise? Sleep came slowly, and when it did, I woke to the sound of boxes being opened downstairs. Everything was changing, and I still didn't know if my family would ever be whole again. I woke up the next morning to the sound of boxes sliding across the floor. It felt strange, like my whole world was shifting. I pulled the blanket over my head, wishing for just a few more minutes of quiet, but then I heard Mom's voice downstairs. Ryan, can you help me with this? She called. I sat up and wiped my eyes. I still felt tired and heavy inside. I went down the stairs and found Mom standing beside the big, messy box of old family photos. She looked up at me slowly. Morning, Lila, she said in a small voice. We're getting started. Ryan was in the corner putting some of his things in a suitcase. He gave me a weak smile. Hey, he said. Want some pancakes? I made too many. I shook my head. No, thanks, I said. I didn't feel hungry at all. Grandma came in, already dressed and ready. She touched my shoulder. You did the right thing, Lila, she said. I wanted to believe her, but it still hurt. Stepdad walked into the room, holding his phone. The real estate agent is coming by later, he said. He sounded flat, not angry or sad, just empty. Mom's eyes filled with new tears as she watched him. How will we ever find another place? She asked, like she was really asking herself, not us. No one answered her. Ryan set down his suitcase and came over. Lila, I talked to the bank this morning, he said. They said if we sell the house I bought, the money can go back to you. I want you to have your college fund, even if things are slow. I looked at him and felt tears in my own eyes. Thanks, Ryan, I said. I know you didn't mean for any of this. He nodded, and his voice shook a tiny bit. Families aren't supposed to hurt each other, he said. Dad never saw that, but I do. I'm sorry for all of it. Stepdad looked at Ryan. You would really sell the house for her? He asked. Ryan nodded. It was never really mine, not if it came from her. Stepdad turned away, rubbing his forehead. For once, he had nothing to say. I sat down beside Mom. You can still stay with me, Mom, but only if you want to be on your own. Not with him, I said. My hands were cold as I waited for her answer. Mom bit her lip. You mean if I leave your stepdad? She asked softly. Yes, I said. He's hurt us enough. You can come, but not him. She let out a shaky breath. I don't know if I can do that, Lila. I felt tired and angry. It's your choice, Mom. I can't let him take more from me. Or you, I said. She nodded, looking scared and lost. I need to think, she said. Grandma squeezed my shoulder again. We'll get through this, she said quietly. We all sat in silence for a while. The real estate agent arrived and spoke with Stepdad. I heard them talk quietly about money and selling fast. They didn't laugh at all. After the agent left, Stepdad said, We have to move quick. We can only stay a few more weeks. His face looked pale and older than before. Ryan came to me later when we were outside. He leaned against the porch rail. I know Dad will never forgive me for helping you, he said. But I care about what's right. I hope you believe me. I nodded. I do, Ryan, I said. You're doing what a brother should. He looked surprised, but also kind of happy. Thanks, Lila. That night, I heard Mom crying in her room. I wanted to go in and hug her, but I stopped at her door. I wasn't sure if she wanted me there or not. I felt confused and sad all over again. Later, as I lay in bed, Grandma knocked softly and came in. If your mom decides to stay with you, I'll help both of you as much as I can, she said. You'll never be alone again. I hugged Grandma tight. My heart ached but felt braver. Before I fell asleep, I heard quiet voices downstairs. They were arguing, but I couldn't hear the words. I wondered what Mom's answer would be. I wondered what our family would look like now. Just as I closed my eyes, my phone buzzed. It was a message from Ryan. House deal might go faster. I'll know more tomorrow. Stay strong. I closed my eyes and held my pillow tight. Everything was changing fast, and tomorrow felt like a huge question. I had no idea what I would wake up to. 6 months later, my life was almost unrecognizable. I stood in my new bedroom, next to 2 big suitcases, getting ready for college. Sunlight poured in through the window. Even after everything that happened, I felt both nervous and proud. Mom peeked her head into my room. Are you almost packed? She said. Her voice sounded soft, not sad like before. I nodded. Almost, I'm just double-checking my list, I said. She came in and looked around. You're really leaving, she said. Yeah, I am, I said. I tried to smile, but my stomach flip-flopped. Are you going to be okay while I'm gone? She came closer and hugged me tight. I'll be better. I already am, she said. Things feel different now. It's just us. It was true. Mom had left my stepdad months ago. She cried a lot at first and was scared, but she started to find herself again. She got a new job and did her own grocery shopping. Sometimes she even laughed, and I saw glimmers of the mom from before. I'm so proud of you, Mom, I said. She squeezed me tighter. No, Lila, I'm proud of you. You stood up for yourself and for me. I'm sorry it took me so long. I blinked fast, trying not to cry. Grandma knocked and walked in, carrying a plate of cookies. She smiled when she saw us hugging. You girls ready for your next adventure? Grandma said. I grinned. I guess I am, still scared though. That's normal, Grandma said. She put the cookies down and sat beside me. Your dad would be so proud. You honored what he left you. The trust fund was safe again. Ryan really did sell the house, just like he promised. Even after all the anger, he split the money, and I got my trust fund back, with a little extra because he wanted to make up for what happened. Ryan came over last week and handed me a card. You deserve this, he said. Don't let anyone take your dreams again, Lila. We're family. Real family sticks together. I nearly cried then, too. I hugged him. Thank you, Ryan, for everything, I said. Now, as I zipped my suitcase, Grandma asked, "Do you ever regret fighting back?" I shook my head. It was hard, so hard. I lost trust. I lost Dad's money for a while. I even lost what I thought family should mean. But I found answers. I found my voice. Grandma smiled. You found your power. I nodded. I did, and I'm never letting it go. We heard a car horn outside. It was Ryan's car. He had offered to drive me to college and help me move in. Mom looked out the window. He's always on time now, Mom said with a laugh. Things really do change, don't they? I swallowed. Yeah, they do. Mom grabbed my hand. You know, I'm thankful you gave me a second chance. I promise never to let anyone hurt you, or us again. I squeezed her hand back. We're starting over, Mom. It's a good thing. Downstairs, I saw our home was smaller but full of warm light. Grandma helped me carry my bags outside. Ryan waited by his car and waved. I saw him smiling, and a weight lifted from my heart. As we put the luggage in the car, Ryan said, "Everyone deserves a place where they feel safe. You fought for yours, Lila. I'm sorry it was ever in doubt." I said, "Thank you, Ryan, I believe you." We said goodbye to Grandma and Mom. Mom hugged me so hard I could feel her heart racing. As she let go, she whispered, "Make your dreams come true." I nodded and smiled. "I'll call you every night." Mom laughed through her tears, "And I'll answer every time." The car started. I looked back at my mother and Grandma waving, the home behind them. As we drove, Ryan said, "You know, you changed everything. Dad used to control us all, not anymore." I felt proud, but also a little sad. I hope he finds peace someday. I hope we all do. Ryan nodded. Me too, Lila, me too. We reached the edge of town, the road wide and bright ahead. My heart pounded as I thought of college and the future. I wondered what would happen next. Would I make friends? Would I miss home too much? Was I really as strong as everyone thought? I looked out the window, the wind in my face, and smiled. The world felt wide open, a little scary and a little wonderful. And I knew, deep down, that my story was only just beginning.